Abortion. The termination of a human pregnancy by expulsion of an embryo or fetus before the stage of viability. Nationally, there are over 600,000 abortions each year and 195 abortions per 1,000 live births, the majority of cases by women in their early 20s. It is even more important to mention that 92.7% of abortions take place early in gestation, where the baby is still considered to be an embryo. Because the moment the word is mentioned, the mood drops because people don't want to think about the consequences and don't know whether to look at her with pity or disgust. Was she saved or is she a murderer? In the end, it comes down to pro-choice and pro-life, opposite ends of the spectrum determined to label her, supposedly to help or hurt her chances in the world. On a grander scale, the argument becomes a dividing societal issue about how to treat future cases and protect the next generation. Not about what she wants, or what she can handle, or even what the baby deserves now, because a single mistake costs you a lifetime. Despite knowing all of this, how can you call her a murderer? The science does not lie, and there is no life being destroyed but her own, around her own choices and the accumulation of events and thoughts that must have led her there.
January 22nd, 1973. Roe v. Wade. The Supreme Court reaches a 7-2 decision in favor of Jane Roe, holding that women in the United States had the fundamental right to choose whether or not to have an abortion. This right of privacy, stated one justice, whether it be founded in the 14th Amendment's concept of personal liberty and restrictions upon state action, or in the 9th Amendment's reservation of rights to the people, is broad enough to encompass a woman's decision whether to terminate her pregnancy. But who was Jane Roe? Her name was Norma McCorvey, 21 years old and bearing her third child. Unmarried, unemployable, and wrought by depression, she didn't wish for a third child to join in her suffering. But Texas law at the time prohibited most abortion, and so, desperate, she turned to illegal methods to try solving her problem. But the local clinic had been shut down by authorities. With one final option left, she turned to the court to free herself and her child from this undesirable fate. While her court case may have become historical, McCorvey herself never attended a single trial and was never able to have the abortion she was seeking. She put her baby up for adoption in 1970. Her story, the story of Norma McCorvey, Jane Roe, isn't the only one of its kind. Many women throughout history have first tried turning to illegal methods of exercising their freedom, just as Roe had. Women were forcing miscarriages through back alley abortions or self-harm. Knitting needles, crochet hooks, hairpins, button hooks, scissors, and coat hangers. These are just some of the weapons women have historically used against their own bodies. Countless women have been left with permanent damage, and many have even died. If only they had some other way. If only they had a choice.
Politicians claim to fight for the lives of unborn children, or better yet, underdeveloped embryos. But what about the lives of the mother at risk? The lives of the mothers who depend on terminating pregnancy in order to survive? What about their fully developed children whose lives depend on the well-being of their mother? Who will take care of them? Our failing foster system? No, thank you. But let's say the mother's physical health doesn't depend on terminating pregnancy. What if it's necessary so that she's able to afford basic necessities that could otherwise interfere with her mental health and later her physical health because she's unable to pay for housing? Who will help her then? Who will save her children? What happens if a child gets raped? Do you seriously expect a child to want to give birth to a baby after such a traumatic experience? Would you hold the child accountable if they are not financially and emotionally ready to support another life? What if a woman was drugged at a party, raped by a stranger, sexually abused by a family member? Their right to refuse was invalidated and continues to be further dismissed when they ask to have complete control over their body, over what goes on in their body after they have been criminally exploited. Although all states allow abortions, they make it really difficult to qualify for one. Many states don't even allow cases of rape and incest to receive abortions. Other states require a short window of time at which point many females are unaware that they are pregnant. It is also difficult for many women to pay for abortions, seeing that most states do not allow state or federal funds to be used.
Some people want to ban abortions, people who have no right to make laws about a woman's body. However, what they fail to recognize or acknowledge is this. With easy access to reliable birth control and safe-sex products, the rate of abortions decrease. Let me repeat myself. If the people in power promote safe sex and make products like birth control accessible to everyone, abortion rates will lower. Access to safe abortions can help a 16-year-old girl finish high school and continue on to college. Access to safe abortions can keep a survivor from suffering even more trauma by raising the child of her rapist. Access to safe abortions can prevent a lower-class woman from having to juggle an additional job on top of motherhood just to get by. In other words, access to safe abortions can help any woman not ready to be a mother not be a mother. It is simply no one else's business but hers whether she decides to get an abortion or not. But at least give her the option. Help this cause. Sign petitions. Donate to causes like Planned Parenthood and Pro-Choice America. Talk to those around you and advocate for women to have more rights over their own bodies than those in power. Be pro-choice.